Join us to navigate your awakening as we share the ancient science of transformation. Practicing this ancient wisdom will help you tune into your power and unlock your greatest potential. If you are ready to embark on your awakening and discover your soul path, then please welcome your host and transformation expert, Trenayce.
Welcome to Navigating the Awakening. I am your host, Trenayce. I greet you in the love and in the light of the infinite creator. Thank you for joining me today. I would like to begin with a meditation. This will be a guided meditation, and afterward, I will explain why this meditation is so important for us to do at this time. If you are driving or listening to this and not able to close your eyes, then please just open your heart and allow the intention of healing to move through you. This is called the internal light meditation, and it is very, very powerful. Allow each breath to relax you more and more as we go deeper. So let's begin. Eyes closed for those of you who can. First breath in. Breathe out. Second breath in. Breathe out. Third breath in. Breathe out. Relax. Allow your breaths to find their natural rhythm. With each breath in, allow yourself to become centered and focused. With each exhalation, release all tension and stress, any mental distractions or images, and allow yourself to be in this moment in meditation. Focus your attention on the center of your chest. See your internal light as it illuminates your heart, as it fills your heart with brilliant, healing white light. Continue to see this light as it grows brighter and brighter with each and every breath. As it moves into your lungs, filling your lungs with healing energies, allowing your heart and your lungs to be filled with light, love, joy, peace, and forgiveness, releasing all heavy, negative, and dark energies, and allowing yourself to be filled with light and love, to be expanded in every way. Continue to see this light as it moves throughout your chest, moving up into your shoulders, down into your arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, and moving into your palms and fingertips. Allow this energy to flow through your palms as it's radiated out into the world and all around you. Continue to see this light as it now moves up through your neck, releasing tension and stress, moving into your cheeks, your ears, your nose, your eyes, moving up into your forehead and up into your crown, activating the connection with your higher self. And now, see the light as it moves down into your diaphragm and your stomach, continuing to bring healing to these organs, moving into the small intestine and the large, activating healing on the deeper level through the absorption of your nutrients and your light energies. Continue to see this light as it moves into your kidneys, your liver, your gallbladder, your spleen, your pancreas, and your bladder. All of your tissues, cells, and organs are now filled with healing light, bringing you into perfect balance, perfect health, aligning you completely with all that is good, all that is desired. And now see the light as it moves into the large intestine, into the colon, into the uterus or the sex organs, allowing for the power of release, giving you the courage and the wisdom to know when to release all energies that no longer serve your highest good. physically, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally. And now see the light as it moves through your hips, passing through your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, and into the soles of your feet. You are now filled with healing light, bringing you into perfect balance, perfect health, aligning you with all that is good, all that is desired. Continue to see this light as it now flows through the soles of your feet, turning into silver cords that move deep into Mother Earth, grounding you and anchoring you to Mother Earth, allowing for any excess energies to flow through these silver cords to be used and recycled by Mother Earth to create something beautiful. And now, see this light that has grown within your heart as it has expanded throughout your body and now is moving through the pores and openings of your body to surround you in a beautiful healing bubble of rainbow-colored light, bringing the full spectrum of light and healing throughout the body and all around you, allowing this light to protect you, to heal you, to bring you into perfect balance, opening your heart, allowing oneness. Continue to see this light as it expands and fills the room or the place where you are, until all of our lights join together wherever we are around the world. Continue to see this light as it grows brighter and brighter, where all of our lights have joined now together throughout this planet and many others, allowing for oneness in heart, mind, body, and soul, bringing us back to the consciousness of oneness, the awareness that all is one. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you, family, for joining your light with me. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Today, our message is all about awakening the light within. And this has everything to do with activating your internal light through this meditation. When you use this meditation, you will be restoring your light fibers, and these make up your light body. You will be healing old wounds and have the trauma of your soul healed. Because as you move from lifetime to lifetime, the soul is traumatized through different experiences, and it is necessary to shed these through using the light. You will begin to shed your dense body as you practice the internal light meditation. And this can cause you to have detox symptoms because you are really releasing energies that no longer serve you on the physical level, the mental level, the spiritual level, the emotional level. You will go through a cleansing, and it will be very healing, but as all cleansings are not always fun. So I suggest that you are very much aware of what it feels like when you are going through a cleansing, when you start doing the internal light meditation. So I want to share with you some of the things you can experience. And again, these are temporary, but absolutely necessary for you in order for you to go through your transformation process. We have to begin to shed the dense body. So first, as we restore the light fibers of our light body, this is extremely important. If you want your light body to be reactivated, we must begin to heal the physical body that we have. And within that illusion of physicality, because truly we are simply made up of light, but through this physicalness, we have acquired density. And the denseness comes from different experiences. It comes from bacteria, viruses, thought forms, all of those things, the foods that we choose to eat. And as they separate themselves from the light, as they move into the darker realms, as we participate more with more toxicity in our thought, in our foods, in the air that we breathe, they become more dense. And we have to cleanse that out. So when you go into your heart and you begin to do the internal light meditation, you're activating, you're telling the higher intelligence that supports your body that you are ready to reactivate your light. And you start within the heart, which is the first organ to be created in the embryonic form of that body. And the heart is the most intelligent part of you. It is connected to the soul. And this is where you begin the healing process, is within the heart. And then as you move out into the body and we go into different parts of the body, you will find sometimes when you first start, it's very difficult to begin to move the light out. I encourage you to see a sun sitting right in the center of your chest. And as you see that sunlight, you just see it getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And as it's moving through the body, bringing light to different parts of the body, you see that which looks like shadow or darkness being removed and replaced by the light. And you are actually doing this. Everything you imagine is actually happening on another level, in another dimension of the self. So nothing is imaginary. It's all very real. And so this is why we need to be conscious of our thoughts, because what we think about is very real. It may not appear to be on this level, but it is on another level, more subtle reality. And so as we move through the body with this healing energy, we are really healing our body. And so sometimes what will happen is you'll start having dreams of old lifetimes, of places where you were. Right away, you may not realize that it's another life, but you'll have these repeating dreams, or just something may be disturbing, because as the light moves in and moves the darkness out, that darkness has to come to the surface in order for you to move it out. And so these traumas that your soul has gone through in other lifetimes will manifest sometimes in those ways, as in a dream. And sometimes different parts of the body, you may begin to have different feelings, not necessarily pain, but discomfort or cold energy, or maybe heat, depending on what it is in different parts of your body. And what I encourage you to do is just to continue to place light there and give yourself love to those parts of the body and allow it to be released. And remember to communicate with your angels, your higher self, while you're in the process of this healing, because it's going to be very important that you're able to communicate with the other realms, with the etheric realms that are all around us, because we have lots of support during this time of the awakening. So as you begin to shed your dense body, literally you will be shedding, just as though you have taken some herbs or something to activate your immune system. The light will do the very same thing. And you can start to have cold symptoms. You can go through various symptoms, the heart pounding a little bit more, sporadically that happens. Sometimes you feel dizzy, that comes and goes. But again, this is you raising your vibration and trying to acclimate to this higher frequency. And it's a short period of time that it will happen, but each person is different. So, of course, we can't tell you exactly how long it would be for you. Some people never experience those things, but they experience something that's very personal for them. So be aware, and I'm telling you this because many times people start to do the internal light meditation, and by the time they start to experience these symptoms, they've forgotten what I told them. So I'm encouraging you to remember that you will go through a cleansing. It doesn't have to be anything serious. It's just that you need to be aware that if you start to feel something, don't bring fear into the picture. Allow it to be healed with the light. Remember, you're in the transformation process, and we are beginning to use the light to activate our transformation. So, this meditation will absolutely transform your life. It has for me, and it has for many, many others. Now, Spirit gave me this meditation in December of 2011, and I was told to do it each and every day, and to also share it with all of my students. So at that time, I was teaching, and still am teaching, belly dance. And in these belly dance classes, we began with meditation. And this is the meditation I share with my students. And I have to tell you, so many people have contacted me over the years to tell me how their lives have begun to change after they started to do the meditation. Now, again, many very good things will begin to happen to you. But as the process of change happens, you will begin to have other things fall away from you, things that are undesirable. But again, change is always not comfortable. So if you're ready to move through your transformation, and you're ready to receive your blessings, and you're ready to let go of things that no longer serve you, then you will completely embrace this meditation. But if you are resistant to change, then you will have difficulty doing this meditation. So what you must understand and understand is that in order to navigate the awakening, you must choose the path of transformation, because this is the way out. This is the way forward. This is the way out of the dark forest, so to speak, as Spirit calls it. So the path of transformation takes energy. And so you have to learn ways to not only conserve your energy, but to create more of it. So we can practice things like Qigong and Tai Chi and deep energy exercises like that. But we can also use the internal light meditation to create more Qi, or vital life force, within our bodies. Just think of a butterfly, the stages that this caterpillar must go through to become a beautiful butterfly. It takes a lot of energy. And that's why the dominant job of the caterpillar is to just eat. Eat, 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 because it's going to need a lot of energy in order to turn into that beautiful butterfly. So the light that you generate within you is absolutely real. It is very nourishing. And when you rebuild your light fibers within your body, you will begin to activate your dormant powers that lie within you. And this is a very exciting time when you begin to see that your thoughts or your desires are manifesting very quickly. Things that you want, people seem to just walk right up to you and hand them to you. Different powers begin to be activated. And that's what we call the magic of transformation. It really becomes very magical, this reality. So as a light worker, which many of you are, and I'm sure doing your work everywhere in the world, it is absolutely necessary, because you are constantly using your light energy to do healing work. So you must replenish your energy body, or you can and will eventually fall ill, because you are using up your vital life force. So there's different ways that you can, again, create this life force by practicing things like Qigong and Tai Chi and many other forms of conscious healing within the body-mind connection, connecting with the universal light. But this is also created by using the internal light meditation. So what you also need to be reminded of is that the key that is within your lungs, is created in your lungs, it first comes into the body as chi. It's chi energy. And it turns into ki as long as it's not depleted. It has to go through a process of maturation through the body. So it goes through certain organs in the body. And as it moves through those organs, if it's not depleted through excessive desire, over sex, overeating, these types of indulgences, then that chi can turn into other forms of energy, and one of them is ki. And we store that in our lungs. And so you will find that when you start doing light energy, different things, visualizations, if you're bringing healing, expanding light throughout the world, throughout the earth, then you will see that sometimes you'll get short of breath and you won't really know what's wrong with you. But what it is that you're actually using that key energy that's created in your lungs. So there's a process. It's like climbing a mountain. And for people who live up in the mountains, they're used to the very thin air, and their bodies are very robust. And people live very long lives when they live up in the mountains because they've adapted to that very light energy. And so you will find that this process that we're going through, this transformation process of moving from these very dense bodies back into our light body, that you will be moving through these levels that almost feel like you're climbing a mountain. And like I told you, they call it mountain sickness, where you get cold and flu symptoms. Well, this can happen when you start doing your internal light meditations. You will experience those same symptoms. You'll also get lightheaded, dizzy. The heart can go through palpitations. Same thing that happens when you're climbing a mountain. And so that's very interesting because etherically we're told we are climbing a mountain, that there is a mountain between the underworlds that we have just come out of, and we're trying to move into the higher dimensions. So between the underworlds and the higher dimensions is a mountain that you must climb in order to begin to purify yourself and raise your vibration. And we call that raising your vibration. We are literally moving up in frequency. So as we move up in frequency, your cells actually begin to vibrate faster and faster. And as they vibrate faster, they begin to shake away all of the dense body or energies that are within you. So that will be viruses, bacteria, fungi, parasites, thought forms that are heavy. All of these things will begin to be shaken out of you, literally, and you will feel it. You will be lying asleep, and maybe you'll be doing your internal light meditation while you're laying in bed, and you'll feel your body start to vibrate. You literally start to feel the body vibrate. And for me, that was very exciting because I had never felt anything like that before. And it took about 9 months for me, meditating daily with the internal light meditation. And I started out, because it was very difficult for me, so I started out probably about 10 to 15 minutes a day. It was very hard for me to get my mind to stop going. So you need to find techniques that will help you to release your thought forms. So practicing the internal light meditation daily will increase your life force and allow this exercise to become one of your most important and powerful tools for transformation. The light is extremely protective and very, very powerful. It will heal and nourish your body, mind, and spirit. So take it very seriously. If you're a beginner to meditation, I know there's so many different meditations out there. Excuse me. And so it's very difficult to think of, which one should I be doing right now? But as I say, you need to know what they're doing for you so that you know what is the result that you want. And this is one of those meditations you can fit into just about anything that you're doing. Any program you're already doing, you can definitely bring the internal light meditation in, and it will make it just that much more powerful. Another thing that it does for you is it helps you with visualization. So this is very important because we need to activate our inner eye. That third eye needs to be activated, detoxed, cleansed. And when you're doing the internal light meditation, then you are seeing inside of the body. You're using and practicing this part of you that usually doesn't get activated until you're in a dream state. So these visualizations are very healing. Every time you go into the body and you just think about moving through the heart, moving through the lungs, moving through the chest, you're actually healing. Everywhere the light flows, the energy goes. And it is very, very good for you on every level. So I encourage you to start doing your internal light meditations, bring it into your daily routine. You can do it any time of the day. There's no special place you have to be to do it. Just start doing it, and you will begin to see the benefits of this. It's amazing. Very, very, very good for you. So if anyone has any questions, you can always reach out to me at questions@awakenthehealing.com. Again, that email address is questions@awakenthehealing.com. And I'm always very, very, very happy to assist anyone with anything that I can. And now we will take our station break. And when we return, we will begin our discussion on the ancient Native American wisdom of the sacred hoop of life.
The cutting edge of conscious radio, OMTimes Radio, IOM FM. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
More than 24 million Americans have an autoimmune disorder, and that number continues to grow. I'm Sharon Saylor, and I'm one of those 24 million. To put that number in perspective, cancer affects about 9 million and heart disease up to 22 million. That's why I've brought together top experts and those thriving regardless of their diagnosis to bring you the latest, most up-to-date information. Join me, Sharon Saylor, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, for the Autoimmune Hour on Life Interrupted Radio to find out how to live your life uninterrupted.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free, ascendinghearts.com.
If I could be you,
and you could be me for just 1 hour,
if you could find a way
to get inside
each other's mind,
walk a mile in my shoes.
walk a mile in my shoes.
walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out, and for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome back to Navigating the Awakening. Let's now begin our discussion on the ancient wisdom of the sacred hoop of life. This sacred hoop is also called by many different names. We know it as the medicine wheel. An astrological birth chart is also a sacred hoop, an ancient Mayan calendar, and other sacred forms that take on the shape of a circle. The reason why circles were used by the ancients is because they are very, very powerful forms of geometry. And as time goes on, we'll get deeper into the meaning of geometric forms. But today, I would like to introduce you to an idea that the ancients held about all life, that we are all connected, we are one. And the sacred circle or sacred hoop is the way that we denote this oneness when we write it down. Before there were letters, there were shapes. This is what we call glyphs, pictograms or pictographs, hieroglyphics, and so on. This is the way the ancient people communicated because it was more inclusive of information. As they say, a picture holds 1,000 words. So to share information that includes the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional, they used pictures. And most times those pictures were in block form. Okay, so you ask, so how does this information relate to you and your desire to navigate the awakening? I want you to see the sacred hoop of life as an endless multiverse, that at the center is the central sun, or the light that we all have emanated from within us. The hoop is divided into parts many, many circles within one another. But the energy flows unobstructed from one area to the next. The energy flows and transforms as it moves through the different parts of the circle. This gives the energy different characteristics. When it moves through certain areas, it's still the same energy. It hasn't changed. It just appears to be something different because it takes on different flavors, different forms, different shapes, different characteristics. And it moves around the hoop in that circular fashion. The circles within circles for us would be dimensions, time, space. These are the things that we call as human time and space and different places and times. But within that circle, they're just circles within the circle. So just as the Mayan and Aztec calendar denotes those circles within circles, our lives are the same way. We are endlessly in this hoop of life, moving in and out of these circles. And so for us, we must remember that we are a part of the sacred hoop of life. Our modern day society has taught us that we are individuals and we are not connected. But this couldn't be further from the truth. We are divine energy taking shape within the hoop of life. We are solar consciousness that spirals in and out of the different levels of the circle. And as we do so, we take on different characteristics. So in these terms that we all can understand, we call those different lives. And so for some people, this is a very difficult concept to understand because we've been told that there's no such thing as reincarnation or something of this form. But as you begin to study and practice different things, you're coming across information that continuously shows you that there is no end to us as energy, these energetic forms that we are. And people give them different names. We call it being reincarnated. We call it moving into different dimensions. It just depends on what school of thought you're coming from. So as we move from one dimension of time to another, from one life to the next, we access the hoop in different places. We come into that circle from a certain direction, and that gives us different perspectives and different characteristics. We are infinite beings that have no end, as long as we are within the sacred hoop of life. We are composed or made up of many energies that make up our form. We are elemental beings made up of fire, wind, earth, and water. And all of those things make up our mineral life, the etheric form that we take on as a spiritual being. And what we see as this physicalness that we call a body is an illusion because we are not physical at all. We are light. We are literally light. Everything about us is light. But that light has slowed down so much so, this vibration, this movement has slowed down so much so that it appears to be physical. It appears to be standing still. But we are always in motion. We are always moving. Our cells are always moving. They're spinning. Everything about us is actually spinning, just like the planets. Our thoughts are moving. Nothing stays within our head. It moves out and into the universe. It grabs onto that which is it like, and it comes back to you. So wherever you have come into this sacred hoop, on whatever level you've come in on, you will be filled with certain characteristics. You will be made up of certain forces that dominate that area that you came in. So say, for instance, you're born in the spring. Then fire is going to be one of your stronger elements because at that time, the energy of the sun is growing stronger. So it affects you as a being who came into the sacred hoop in that time of spring. And you will take on the characteristics of the spring. This is your energy. This is your natural energy. You take on the forces that are present in that particular place in the circle. And this is why directions become very important for you. And the ancients speak of directions all the time. And so when we study feng shui and things of this nature, then the feng shui teaches you about directions. And you have power directions and you have weaker directions. So you are strong in certain elements and made weak by other elements. And this is something you need to know about for yourself. So this is because of where you entered into the circle, into this life. But you are never limited by this. This is something you need to really, really understand and understand. When you come into the sacred hoop of life, you may come in one area, but you are the entire hoop. It is you. But because you chose to come through in that direction, you took on a certain perspective. So your job is to strengthen yourself by continuing to move through the circle of life, through this sacred hoop, by learning about yourself in different ways, by testing yourself, trying new things, becoming stronger in things that you were once made weak in. And this is the beauty of giving ourselves these incarnations, because with each incarnation, we grow and we learn. We enter into a classroom, and this classroom is absolutely amazing, incredible, because think of all the different ways that you can learn from it. And believe me, Earth is not the only place that you get to join this beautiful circle and sacred hoop of life. So as you come in and you choose a direction, that direction is going to give you powers. You have certain powers because you came in that direction. You have certain things that you will lean toward. You may be a singer in this life. You may desire to strengthen the voice. You may learn how powerful your voice is. In other lives, you may want to write. So there's a multitude of things that we can learn, and from different directions that we enter into the sacred hoop. But the point is to know that even though you are strengthened in some ways, in other ways you are challenged, it doesn't mean that you can't overcome your challenges. So this is the message of the ancients, that we are here to learn, to grow, to expand, and to continue to move. And when we become stagnant in life, in our minds, in our bodies, in our spirits, then this is where dis-ease begins to move in. And the dis-ease is simply a product of stagnation. It's a product of toxicity, of negativity. And so as you continue to move, when you think about your body, you think about exercise. Why do we exercise? Because exercise helps to strengthen our immune system. It helps us to detox. So the same thing is true for our mind. If we stay stagnant and we never use our minds, and we're not growing, we're not learning, we're not expanding ourselves, then weeds start growing in the mind. And you begin to take on toxic behaviors, toxic attitudes. This is not good for you because you cannot grow in this way. Now, when we look at the physics of a spin, we're talking about everything is moving. So I want to talk about physics here in a very light way. But the physics is either moving to the right, spinning to the right, which means this is an expanded position, this is a growth movement, this is an evolutionary growth movement, or you're moving to the left. And the left spin is all about deterioration, decomposition. It is also a cleansing because it is a releasing of energies. Now, each one of those spins has its place. You need that positive spin. You need that because we want to grow. So we definitely want to be moving to the right. Our dominant spin should be to the right. But there are times when we do need to spin to the left because we need to detox. We need to release old things that no longer serve us, but those should be very short periods of time. So in knowing that, in realizing that, your thoughts are also spinning. So the dominant parts of your thought should be on positive things. You should be thinking about how you want to expand in life, how you want to grow in life, where you want to go, the things you want to learn. And then there are times when we have things we need to shed. So someone hurt you, someone said something to you, something happened to you in your childhood. And so you may need to go back in time. And so you need that left spin to rethink, to go over the thing that harmed you, hurt you, what someone said or someone did, in order for you to release it. But remember, that left spin is temporary. It's only for a period of release. Because if you stay in that left spin, then you go into a deterioration. I call it a death spin because that's exactly what it is. Everything begins to die in the left spin. That's how we decompose. That's how once the body leaves this plane, it must be decomposed. So we need creatures, those bacteria, they help break it down. They have a left spin. But if you get too many of those little bacteria that are trying to break things down in your body at this time, and you're trying to grow and to expand, then there's a clash of energy because you have too many of these bacteria, parasites, something of that nature that is of a natural left spin that is trying to break your body down, but you really still want to be alive. That's where you have to do a cleansing. So we realize that as we move through this transformation process, we move into our path of healing, of awakening, that we have to become balanced in our left spin and our right spin. And it's more like the 80-20 chart for the alkaline acid. We only want to be consuming 20% of acid and 80% of alkaline because we need to stay in balance. And the same thing, throughout your day, you may have 20% of that negative spin where you need to release and let go and forget about what happened earlier, or throughout the day, things happen. And you move toward the 80%, the positive thoughts, the releasing, the loving, the letting go. And that's a process that we go through until it becomes where you don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have bad days anymore. I may have a bad moment, you see, because I'm more conscious, I'm more aware that I don't want to stay in that negative mindset. And I want to release as quickly as possible. So when we move into our hearts and we start using the internal light meditation, what it does is it allows us to begin to heal deep within the self, going deep into that soul's journey. These are lives and energies that are not in your conscious mind. But the more that you heal, the more that you go through this process, the more those things begin to come back to you. And what happens is you start to see how we are truly connected to one another. And this is the process of healing. This is the actual part of healing. When we realize that we are one being, when we realize that this tree that sits outside my house that is covered with microbes, with fungus, with mold, that mold and that fungus is not just attacking that tree. It's attacking me because I'm breathing in the very air that is around my home. And so in order to heal myself, I have to start working with my tree in order to begin to heal the tree. And so this is how we begin to expand and take our light out and around us, because we must begin within ourselves. That's where all healing starts. The sacred hoop must start within your heart, that you begin to see the connection to all that is. And really, to be honest, if you can go into the heart and realize that every part of your body is simply an extension of your heart. It is one. It is one with your heart, because your heart is the very first organ that is created. And then everything stems off of the heart. So truly, it is the heart. It is all connected. We give them all these various names because we've been taught to, but they are only extensions of the heart. So as Spirit has taught me, when we begin to do the internal light meditations, we are healing the self. We are moving through not only within the self, but the greater self, our other selves. And as you find balance, harmony, healing, joy within your own body, mind, spirit complex, then you will desire to begin to assist other selves with the same process. And there goes our OM radio and all of these wonderful people who are on this station that help people, that want to reach out, that want to share. This is where the consciousness, the awareness that we are one being begins to move in. And you begin to feel better and better within your life and in your own body, the more you help other people. So being aware that this sacred hoop of life includes all beings, all animals, all creatures, the creepy crawling ones, the flying ones, the ones that we can't see with our eyes that are very present because, again, we have limited sight. But all of the life that is around us, be it physical or non-physical, is all part of us. And so as we move through this awareness and this raising of consciousness, this is the teaching of the ancients, that we are one and that you must remember who you are in order to move through your awakening. As we move toward this path of transformation, there are steps we must take. So I meet people all the time and they want to hurry up and they want to just get to it, because they're like, oh, I'm 50 years old and I just found this information out. And you know what? It's okay, because it's in you. It's already within you. And there's no rush. There's no rush because we are infinite beings. And you can't rush the awakening. You just can't do it. And that would be a quantum leap. So we want things to stick. We don't want to jump and then fall back down. We want to take things a step at a time. And so I always encourage people, do the things that's easy to be done. Do what's easy. Because if you start with what's hard, then you won't stick to it. So what could be some easy things? Some easy things are simply listening. Listening to shows like Navigating the Awakening. Listening to other wonderful shows that are on this network. Reading incredible books. Pick up something from the library in the self-help section. And just begin to expand your consciousness, because it truly is knowledge that will expand you. It's the knowledge that opens you up to other dimensions of reality. Because if you don't know something exists, then you cannot access it. You cannot desire it. You just don't know it's there. So what's happened with humanity is we have become separate in consciousness through a conditioning, through a teaching. We've lost this sacred knowledge, this sacred wisdom, that which I'm going to share with you on this show. We've lost much of this information over thousands of years. It didn't happen overnight. Thousands of years, but it is still in your DNA, and that's the beautiful thing. And we'll talk about resonance and vibration and how when you just hear the information, it begins to resonate within you. And as it resonates within you, it will begin to awaken parts of you, parts of your consciousness that you weren't even aware of. And it starts to bring forth a different thought. You begin to think differently because you've heard something or you've learned something new. And knowledge is truly, it has to be divine wisdom, higher knowledge that begins to transform your life, to bring you into higher states of consciousness. But it is absolutely transforming. So the easy thing to do is to begin to listen. And then as you begin to listen, the next steps in navigating your awakening is starting to practice something you've learned. You must practice what you've learned because you cannot activate change if you're not actively moving into change. So even if it's as simple as taking 10 minutes out of your day, as soon as you wake up in the morning and beginning to go into your internal light meditation, sitting up and taking deep breaths, moving out into the environment, recognizing the sun as it rises, and connecting with the light that is so much a part of us that we've forgotten. You know, we've come to this such a modern time in our world where we think planets and the sun and the moon and the air are just things, and they're just out there. But in truth, they're all part of you. They're all extensions of you, parts of you that you have forgotten. And so as you move closer and closer in your awakening, you will begin to remember that that is you, because it will literally begin to talk to you. The winds will respond to you. The ancient Native Americans spoke about vision questing. And a vision quest didn't have to be anything extreme. There are some extremes out there, but it doesn't have to be extreme. A vision quest can be simply you ask a question and you ask the universe to answer that question for you, to show you that this is true, this is really happening. And the universe will. The universe will show you, will give you an answer, but you have to be open to the various ways the answer can come to you. You can be thinking about something and the wind will begin to blow, and there was absolutely no wind before you thought of that. Or the sun will begin to shine brighter because they're communicating with you. They're trying to tell you that this thing that you're thinking about, okay, this is what you should be doing. Or, yeah, you're right, you shouldn't do that, or whatever it is. But you need to be aware. A little bunny could cross your path, or something you haven't seen in a very long time. You see, all of a sudden, your world is opened up to the outer world, which is only an extension of you. Because truly, it is an illusion. It is simply a projection of what is within you. And that is why, as you go through your transformation process, as you begin to practice and move through this ancient science of transformation, it becomes magical. Your life becomes magical. You literally think something and someone comes to your door and hands it to you. And you just cannot deny this. You can say maybe the first time it was a coincidence, but there's no such thing as coincidence, right? Coincidences. It's the way of the universe speaking to you and guiding you and letting you know that it is very much aware of your thoughts. This path is amazing. It is unbelievable. Many, many times, many days, I sit here and I say, this is absolutely unbelievable that happened. But more and more and more it happens, the more you expect it to happen. So in the beginning, it may be a little rough because you've got to let go. You got to shed. You got to let go of all that stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. All the belief systems and the thought processes that keep us in stagnation, that keep you tied to a world that doesn't grow, that doesn't serve you, that doesn't work for you. Once you start shedding those false beliefs and limiting beliefs, and you begin to move into the love energy that is within your heart, within your mind, within your body, you begin to heal yourself, you begin to work on yourself. So many wonderful things start to happen to you. So many coincidences begin to happen, and it's beautiful. So I just encourage you to continue on your path of awakening, to stay strong, to practice the internal light meditation every day, to follow your heart, to listen deeply to the guidance that is within you. And in our next show, we will begin to go deeper into this knowledge. If you were born between September 23rd and October 23rd, then you are part of the butterfly clan, and you don't want to miss our next show. So I truly, truly, truly want to thank you for joining me today. It's been a beautiful show, and I love all of you. I love you, and I leave you in the light of the infinite creator. Thank you.